Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of WagmiTV. We have a fun one for you this week. It's been a little bit of a slow week in crypto, probably a little bit welcomed after the Japan scare of interest rates last week and just a lot of volatility, with Bitcoin going from low 60s down to high 40s. So now we've kind of leveled out a bit, and so we wanted to take the time to cover a fun project, ZYNCOIN, as it's also known. Obviously from the popular nicotine pouch company. So we're going to cover a little bit of update from them, kind of what they're up to, what they've launched recently. And then we're going to dive into the charts and potential opportunities there and buy zones and see if there's anything that we can pick up in terms of good timing on that chart. So we're going to first do just a little bit of dive here into some of the background on what they just launched, what the recent news is. And then we're going to kick it over to Mada to cover some charts and go over some opportunity and buy zones. So really quickly, obviously, aside from being a crypto project, the ZYNCOIN team recently launched a product called Comfy. So this is meant to be a pouch for your Zyn can. So you stick it in there, and then it has a bottle opener on the bottom. So they're kind of just advertising this as, a good companion for someone who's rocking Zyns very often. And so really how they're tying it into the crypto ecosystem that they've created is if you have a Comfy can, you can actually claim rewards in Zyn token based on how many cans you have. And then the other thing that they're saying that they're going to do is they will use all of the revenue from the Comfy cans to do a buyback on the Zyn token to hopefully drive up the price a bit. So you can see here they have quite a few different options. They're going for $25 ish right now. And they just kind of launched it as a fun addition to the crypto community that they have, and kind of help sponsor the growth of the coin overall. But that's kind of the most recent update here. Before we get into the charts, any additional comments from you guys? Any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's going to be interesting to see like if this is going to be some sort of trend that starts particularly in like the meme coin space, where it's kind of accepted that most meme coins, like 99.9% of meme coins, is like absolutely no utility whatsoever, and it's just purely for the meme. Of course, that's how ZYNCOIN started, and we're going to go to the chart. If you guys aren't familiar with the chart, this thing absolutely mooned a few months ago, and has come back down to earth. But it's not often that you see meme coins actually, graduate to the next step of like, oh, should we actually do something that has some utility? Now, it's yet to be seen if there's going to be any demand for this product or anything like that. Also, questions around, where these rewards are actually coming from. Of course, you do have the benefit of, the part of the revenue going to a token buyback. So that obviously helps the ecosystem and the community and the token holders. But generally, it's going to be interesting to see if this starts some sort of trend. Like maybe all the meme coins now are going to start, trying to tie in some sort of utility. Not all of them, but maybe some of them will try to have that happen. Notoriously, the Trump meme coin actually takes a percentage of the trading volume or the trading fees that they charge, and it goes towards, I think, like donating to veterans or something like that. Like they've had like some philanthropic endeavor that they're doing. I've heard a few other meme coins also do something. There was one that was tied to like wrestling or like WWE or something, like or MMA or something. This was last year. And so there have been a few of these like more philanthropic endeavors. This is the first time I've seen like a product launch that's like a physical product and like physical collectible. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see kind of how it goes. We can hop into the chart and kind of see the price action. But that's just my general thought on it. After seeing the news today.
Yeah, let's hit into the charts, then we can talk a little bit more about some of this. So if we're looking at Zyn specifically, looks interesting, right? Very new, very memey, right? It popped pretty significantly out of the gate, right? I think we're looking at from the bottom to the top, a pretty significant percentage, right? Over 10,000%, which is crazy, right? It has since come down pretty significantly. We are bouncing off this level as nice support though, which is really interesting. We bounced off it a few times. I think something that we've talked about is, hey, if you were going to get into this range right here, that's in purple, would be probably a good time to do that. Interestingly enough, right, you have this downtrend happening, so those who are bullish on ZYNCOIN, you're going to actually want to see it get above this at some point. What I did notice that was also interesting, and bear in mind, we're going to a weekly chart for, something that hasn't been out very long, but you're actually seeing some bullish divergences on the weekly chart from the RSI perspective. So you have higher lows on the RSI and equal price action on the actual chart. So what that typically means is it's due for some sort of bullish movement. Now, whether that movement is just up into this, this downtrend, right? Something like 150%, which isn't too bad, or whether that's just moving slightly, that's not something that we can really tell from the chart itself. But if you're bullish on it, probably wait to get in a little bit lower. Because even this is something like a 50% drawdown from here, 40 to 50%. So, if you absolutely can't wait and you love it so much, feel free to get into it. I think it's just a really interesting story as a whole, right? This meme coin, right, essentially persuaded Philip Morris, right, who's the Fortune 500 owner of the tobacco giant Swedish Match, who owns Zyn, to back off of legal threats for using the Zyn name, really because they realize there's no entity to sue, right? It's it's decentralized. There's nothing for them to actually go after and attack. So it seems like they almost embraced it in a way. So really the way that I look at this is, this is just a meme coin. It started, it popped off really nicely because people really love Zyn. So they're like, hey, we can actually build a community outside of crypto by buying into kind of some of this Zyn. Some of the Zynners that are out there, right? So it's really an idea. How do we broaden our appeal? How do we get folks interested in it, right? So I know we probably all know somebody who Zyns or somebody who has Zynned at some point. I could definitely see these interesting little scenarios where they're providing something in order to buy back the token, being helpful and being able to build a community, right? So I think it's a really interesting story just of how it started, how it's gotten into the news, how it's really kind of intertwined with Zyn at this point. But really, really interesting stuff for sure.
Yeah, it's just funny how these meme coins kind of take off, right? Like it's just like a collective, yeah, I can relate to this for whatever reason. And like that's all it takes sometimes. The other thing to keep in mind with like some of these meme coins is like asking yourself, at least this is what I try to do, is like, what's the next catalyst going to be? Like, is there going to be something in the news? Like, recently I think there was like a Zyn shortage or something, or like a ban, like in some places. So like, are these different news pieces about Zyn like in the next few months or something like that? Like, is there something like that coming up that could lead to a catalyst for this to get more attention? Because at the end of the day, like the memes, it all comes down to like how much attention are you garnering in a very short time period, and a lot of times that leads to like crazy pumps and stuff. So I think mixing, kind of the technical analysis that Armada went through with some of this, I don't want to call it fundamental analysis because it's like it's still like pure speculation, but some sort of like catalyst. If you have a thesis on some catalyst coming up, I think mixing those two things together could be an opportunity personally.
Yeah, and if you just love the community, right? I know they were talking about having meetups later this year, likely in New York, right? So hey, if you're in New York and you're a Zinner and you want to buy Zyn and you want to have a little cool tin can piece for your pouches, more power to you, right?
Yeah, I think the other power of this is that it's something that people use on a regular basis. It's something that people talk about a lot. Like, just in doing like a quick scan on like from like a news perspective about Zyn, like there's so many different stories on it. Like even like the governor from Minnesota that just recently got selected as the VP running mate for Kamala. He wants to do a Zyn tax in Minnesota. Like Tucker Carlson has always talked about how much he loves Zyn. Like there's just so many avenues for it to get eyes on it. So I think that makes it really interesting as well. And you just never know. Like memes are all about timing. It's all about the capacity to get a large following quickly, and so that makes it really interesting for sure. Awesome.
Yeah, couldn't have said it better. I mean, maybe it'll be a sleeper election play in the meme coin space.
It becomes a hot button debate issue. Who's in? Well, great. That's going to do it for us today. We just kind of wanted to bring you guys something fun, a little bit of an update. Obviously, this is not financial advice. Like, we're talking about a risky, I wouldn't even call it an asset really, but a risky asset. Highly, highly volatile. Obviously, the S&P is going to have to keep going up. Bitcoin's going to have to keep going up for this to continue to have success. So definitely bear that in mind. This is entertainment purposes only. But let us know how you feel in the comments. If you've heard about it, if you own it, if there's other meme coins that you'd like us to cover, we're always going to read the comments. So let us know. But if you enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.